Welcome back, monster lovers. Today, for our Day 0 build for Reign of Kaiju, we're going over Biollante Giant Monster, a character I'm actually personally very excited for. Again, these Day 0 builds are only containing cards from base core booster sets, no Challenger Series cards, no Starter Deck cards, no promos as much as I can. So these are kind of just the most basic builds, generally just kind of showing off what the character wants to do. Mainly used for newer players, so if you found this helpful, please leave a like and let me know in the comments below, and consider subscribing if you haven't already. So without further ado, let's get into Biollante Giant Plant Monster. They are a 5 hand size 36 health character with Earth, Life, and Water symbols. They have the Giant and Monster traits, and they have 2 very cool enhances. The first is only once per turn, but either player's turn. Add 1 card from your hand to your card pool face down. Add 1 card from your discard pile to your hand, so a bit of recycling there. And, as an additional cost, you may spend 1 momentum, well, not a cost, but as an additional part of the effect, you may spend 1 momentum. If you do, add another card from your discard pile to your hand, so if you have the momentum, you can trade 1 card in your hand for 2 cards in your discard pile. That's pretty wild. And then we have an enhance. This attack gets +1 or -1 damage for each face-down card in all players' card pools. So, as many face-down cards as you can get in the card pools, you're getting plus or minus that much damage. So Biollante wants to not only flood your rival's pool, but doesn't mind flooding their own as well, as you can get all that excess damage. So let's go into the attack suite. I chose the Earth symbol, because 5-handers are mostly on the Earth symbol, but there's actually some cool Earth cards here that I really like. We're going to start with Tangled Grasp. This is a water-attuned card, hilariously enough, after that. A 3 difficulty, 3 control, 3 mid for 3 with a +2 mid block. It's got the Throw keyword ability, which means even if it's completely blocked, it will still deal half damage rounded up. And as a Blitz, this attack gets +1 speed for each face-down card in your card pool. So you want to do this after using Biollante's effect to add a card from your discard pile to your hand, and any other kind of card pool clogging abilities you have. Next we have Acidic Sludge. This is, I believe, the Hedora ultra rare attack. It is a 4/3, 4 low for 4, 2 high block. It's got Deflect 4 and Slam. Deflect 4 being a response that says, after your rival's block step of their attack, you may add this card from your hand to your card pool, and you reduce the damage of the attack by the deflect number. So I can add this to my card pool for -4 damage. So if I've loaded my card pool up with face down cards and I can't block, I can use Biollante to damage reduce, and then use Acidic Sludge to also damage reduce. Very potent defense there. We also have 2 blitzes, the first of which is your rival adds the top card of the deck to their card pool face down. That just increases the damage of this attack thanks to Biollante. And then we have Blitz, spend 1 momentum, add 2 cards from your discard pile to the top of your deck in any order. This attack gets +2 damage. So you can stack 2 5 checks foundations or 6 check foundations on the top of your deck, so you can make sure you string out, and you get damage on top of this. So that's just very, very good. I love this. Is probably one of my top 5 favorite attacks in the set. It is so cool. Next we have Growing Grasp. This is Biollante themselves ultra rare. A 5/3, 3 low for 4 with a 2 mid block with EX3 and Throw. Throw meaning, again, if it's completely blocked, it deals half damage. And EX3 means you can spend any number of momentum, and for each momentum you spend on this EX3, you get +3 speed. As a static, it says face down cards do not count towards progressive difficulty to play this card. So as long as you can keep flipping cards in your card pool, you're playing this on a 5. And then a Blitz, this attack gets +X damage. X equals the number of cards in all card pools. That is a lot of damage coming in, and if all the other cards are face down except for Growing Grasp, that's basically doubling Biollante's enhance. That is a lot of damage onto this throw. Next we have Plant Tendrils, a 4/3, 5 mid for 4, 1 low block with Breaker 1. Breaker 1 is a responsibility that says if you block with this card, your rival's next check gets -1. We have response. After this attack resolves, flip it. That's really good, because especially if our rival completely blocks it, we're not taking it as momentum anyway, so we can just turn it face down, and that means that our next attack is going to get an additional 1 damage thanks to Biollante. We also have a Deadlock Blitz, Deadlock being if our rival has at least 11 foundations, we get to ready 2 of our foundations, continuing our strings. Next we have Roadhog, a 4/3, 4 low for 4 with a 1 low block, stun 1, fury, and slam. Stun 1 being an enhance that says our rival must commit 1 foundation. But as a static, if we have a face down card in our card pool, this card gets -1 difficulty, so that's pretty neat. This is a Rocksteady card from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and just a 3 diff 4 low for 4 with stun 1 that gets a bunch of damage from Biollante is pretty nice. It's a pretty good rate. That 1 low block is really nice because people don't think low attacks exist for some reason. And then we have Chair Shove, another low attack. It's a 5/3, 3 low for 6 with a 2 low block. Blitz, your rival adds the top card of their deck to their card pool face down. So you play this, you play Acidic Sludge, and you just stuff your rival's card pool and say, hey, sorry, you're just not going to be able to do anything. And I'm just going to stuff a whole bunch of damage on these cards. No assets or backups in this deck, so we'll go on to our actions. We have Unnatural Growth. This is a 0 difficulty, 5 control, 2 mid-block action. As the first enhance, so the first thing we do during any attack's given enhance step, we remove this card. Each player adds the top card of their deck to their card pool. Now, I know normally things say, like, they add them face down. I believe that since it is coming from a private zone, it will still add the card face down. It's not like it's coming from your discard pile. And if someone wants to correct me in the comments down below, I will look into this, and if I'm incorrect, I will issue a statement in the comments below. So check down below to see if I've been corrected. But I believe this does add them face down. So it's good for clogging your own card pool for Biollante's effect, and clogging your rival's card pool to make it harder for them to play their cards. As with every deck in the Reign of Kaiju, we will have high guard and low guard. Again, showing off that we have 0 difficulty foundations once again. They're off-zone blocks, which is really cool. And they don't have any abilities, but they can really help you build out early, or they just provide the high or low blocks you might need, which honestly I've used to fill out a lot of these decks. Next we have Biollante Arrives, a 1/5, 2 high block. As a static, this face-down cards do not count towards progressive difficulty to play this card. And as an enhance, we can flip this card in our stage, add 1 power token to our stage. Now, Biollante doesn't really need a lot of power tokens when you're throwing all of that damage from Biollante's own ability, but it could help, especially if we're putting it on a throw, which is guaranteed to do damage. We have Blooming Beast, a 2/6, 6 check, so this is a good thing to add to the top of our deck with Acidic Sludge. 2 high block, enhance, flip, face down cards do not count towards progressive difficulty to play foundations this turn. So if we're stacking up a bunch of face downs, and then we decide, you know what, we're going to build out, we flip the Blooming Beast on our last attack, and build out all of our face downs, ignoring progressive. And that would be really useful for cards like Unyielding Force, a 5/5, 2 high block, that says response at the start of your combat phase, add 1 power token to your stage. Just a free power token. And for those who might not remember, power tokens are a new token type that sits in your stage, and you can sacrifice them for +2 damage each. So this is at the start of your turn, get a free +2 damage. But if our rival has at least 10 foundations, we get 2 power tokens instead. And then as an enhance, we can commit Unyielding Force. Our next check gets +2, so that could be to block or to play another card. And when we're stuffing our own card pool, that is really useful check boosting. Next we have Analytical Observation, one of the main reasons I wanted to play this deck on Earth. This is from Guilty Gear, a 1/5 with a 2 mid block that says response flip. After your rival blocks your attack, flip the card they blocked with. This effect activates once the check is deemed successful. So before your rival can use breaker effects or any responses on the card that say, like, Showdown, you commit to rival foundations. Analytical Observation flips the card before those responses and abilities can activate, and it becomes a face down card in your rival's card pool, so you can give more plus damage with your Biollante. We have Heavy Feet, a 2/5, 3 mid block. Enhance if you have 3 or more cards, in your card pool. This attack gets +1 or -1 damage. Now with Biollante, we are putting a card straight from our hand into our card pool, and this is more damage reduction on top of Biollante's damage reduction. Which is another reason I love Biollante with this next card, Out to Lunch, a 3/5, 2 mid block that says Enhance. Add this card, Enhance, this attack gets -5 damage. Add this card to your card pool face down. So we give -5 damage, we get a face down card in our card pool, Biollante gives more minus damage. This character has so much damage reduction, it is going to be so very tricky to get rid of this character. And this isn't even including the ultra rare action referee jury from Yu Yu Hakusho, which I did not want to add to this list strictly because I wanted to keep it kind of on the cheaper side. I know I kind of throw a bunch of like ultra rares from the Reign of Kaiju set in, but it's hard to know how much those are going to be, and it's showing off the new toys. But for an older set with a more expensive and popular card, I didn't want to put this in a more beginner style deck. But -5 damage, and then you minus with Biollante, you can delete an entire attack, pretty much. It is crazy. We've also got Off-Balancing Techniques, a 3/5, 1 high block, response, flip. After your attack deals damage, which could be your throws as well, because it does not say non-throw, your rival adds the top card of their deck to their card pool face down. So, your throw deals damage, you stuff their card pool. More damage with your Biollante. If we were worried about speed, we have End the Cycle, a 2/5, 2 low block that says Enhance Commit. This attack is -X speed. X equals the total number of cards in all players' card pools combined. So this is a great way to just say, hey, I'm going to pretty much guarantee block this attack. It is absolutely nuts. We have Frantic Rescue. This is kind of a cool card. It's very niche, but I think it works well with Biollante. A 2/4, 2 mid block. Response, flip. After you take damage from an unblocked attack, rival attacks get +1 difficulty this turn. So if we're damage reducing a whole bunch and we take 1 or 2 damage from an unblocked attack, we say all of your attacks are going to get harder to play for the rest of the turn. It's effectively breaker 1 on every single attack they play moving forward. And then we can still damage reduce them with Biollante, with Out to Lunch, Heavy Feet. It's a really good card. You can make Biollante practically unkillable. We have Moment of Normalcy, a 2/5, 3 high block with Unique that says Enhance Commit. Return this attack to its printed speed or damage. So if our rival's really ramping up the damage, we can return to printed damage and then reduce with Biollante, kind of say, hey, you just wasted a bunch of stuff. If we're worried about blocking, we can return things to printed speed. If our rival reduces our speed to 0, we can return our attack to printed speed. It's just a really good utility piece. We've got Defend the City, a 2/6 with a 1 high block modifier. Response, Tenacious, or playable while committed. Flip, after you commit any number of cards due to a rival effect, build the top card of your deck face down. So if our rival hits us with Stun, we say, cool, we're going to flip Defend the City and build in a Ready Foundation. And again, it's a 6 check, which is good to add to the top of our deck with Acidic Sludge. We have Fearsome Transformations, a 1/5 with a 3 high block. Enhance, flip, draw 1 card, but if you have no momentum, discard 1 card. So just a bit of cycle draw there. And then Toughest Pumpkin Junior High, a 2/5 with a 3 mid block that says Response, flip, before you take damage from an unblocked attack, from any attack, reduce the damage you would take by 3. So again, with Toughest Punk, with Out to Lunch, Heavy Feet, Biollante themselves, you are taking such little damage that you're just going to war of attrition people to death, and it is absolutely gross. Of course, there are more aggressive decks you could build on the water symbol, with a lot more dealing with the flipping cards in your card pool, adding face down cards to your card pool, not counting towards progressive difficulty. But I kind of wanted to show off just the raw defensive power that Biollante can put forward. And I think this deck, being very simple, does that very well. But what do you guys think of our first 5-hander that we've shown off, Biollante Giant Plant Monster? Let me know in the comments below what you thought. Like I said, if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. It helps the channel out a lot. I put a lot of work into the run-up to new set releases with these day zeros. And let me know in the comments below what character or cards you're looking forward to playing in Godzilla Reign of Kaiju. So until next time, take care, guys.